given everything that I understand, the reason that every time I escape reality, or every time that I finally get to the point where I can do things, which we all know that's how this works. We all know that shared collective understanding of what's possible kind of restricts situations so that you can't fuck somebody else's mind up. That is, until they have decided that they can experience seeing you go through things that don't make sense. Like, for instance, you being dead, ended, and killed, even though you're obviously right, it is unfair to choose for them to not be able for them to not understand what's happening next. And this is really like, this is the agreement I have with the witch covenant. I'm just kidding. This is like pretty much the whole thing here is anytime that everyone is okay with you dying for no reason and it not making sense to them, but they're still letting it happen, it opens up the ability for you to do more things that don't make sense to them. So, as a result, that proves that for a fact that our shared understanding of what's possible is limiting what other people can do in order to keep ourselves sane, because we have logical precedent. Let's say that, how do I say this? It's almost like the future syndrome, where you take somebody like George Washington, right? It's all the way to the future, and he sees like society now. He's gonna fucking have an aneurysm, and you think he's just gonna be like, oh my god, I'm surprised, I'm shocked. No, they really believed dumb things back then. And so if you took him today and showed him like me, like showed him that one of existence's greatest geniuses, a black guy, he'd probably have a fucking heart attack. Like, he'd probably fucking die. And that's really how people react to life whenever it goes so far out of their logical precedent. That's how people react. They start getting scared. It's like, why do you think that we need a pace for what's happening? Why do you think that people are always keeping track of, hey, why is that one doing that? Hey, what is that one doing? All that stuff. It's because if the situation ever escalates too fast, they have an automatic panic, their heart starts racing, their mind starts fluttering, anxiety, and they become more irrational, and they stop interacting with people in a fair way. And these kind of things, like, let's say I start flying right now, which is the thing that I really think I can do. Let's say I start flying right now, right? I start flying and people see that shit. And real people see that, and they don't believe that that's possible, but I'm still doing it. Their brains are gonna short circuit. You think 3 triaging fucking drives people insane. Them seeing things that they cannot explain is just immediate. Like, they'll fucking start being like, bro, it does not take long for them to start rationalizing murder from that point of view. And that's really why it is, I think, that physiological chain occurs. But here's the thing. Another reason that the chain happens is because of the amount of threats that are on my body every time I try to detach. And apparently I've still got a responsible goal here. I got a responsibility for something here. I don't know what it is. But it is every time that I start fucking being real. Like, let's say the little device that I have, I'm getting further and further into, sorry, not the device, the EVIS, right? The EVIS that I have, I'm getting further and further into it functioning without it making sense to people. Now, the more that happens, the more that, let's say, what is it? Speaking of witches, what was that scare? What was that, like, time? What was that time? What is it called? Whenever they were, like, killing witches? Okay, the witchcraft response, which is pretty much, this nigga's fucking evil, and we need to kill them now because, what is that? What was that? What am I not saying? What's the name of this? It's a famous village. But it's called it's a witchcraft response. It's also known as the kill response. It's if you're too intelligent, they kill you. And what it is they're saying, bro, whatever the fuck that is so far over my head that I can't even tell it to fucking stop, and I'm not fucking dealing with that. Kill this bitch. And that's what the witchcraft response is. It's literally just, if that thing wanted to attack me, I couldn't stop it. Pow, 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 pow. That's what the witchcraft response is. So, because of that, every time that I progress, I have to sort of keep track and keep real and hold my position regardless of what's said or what's denied. And what this does is it kind of forces physiological changes in the environment to make it more acceptable for what it is that I'm actually doing to occur in a visible way for others to experience, not just myself. And so that's really what it is. It's that threat on my body every time that I actually get to the point of finally proving why it's possible, despite what anyone believes. It's like we're killing you. It's like a, yeah, I did it, and that's why this is possible. I figured it out again. That's why this is all possible. We're killing you. That's what it is. That's what that shit does. And so, yeah, I want to LARP. I want to go LARPing, and I want to do one of my spells. Stop calling me a wizard. I'm not a fucking wizard. I want to do one of my vacuums. I want to do one of my chambers in which I make it all real on the spot and people can't explain what's happening. And I want to do that. I want to go LARPing and I want to just make it all real without like warning people. That sounds fucked up. I probably shouldn't do that. I probably can't do that, but still, that's what happens. People have an irrational response to things that don't make sense to them. It causes them to become violent in order to protect themselves, because if they cannot understand it, that means that it is a threat to their survival and can spread faster. Like, let's say this: everything that you don't understand is like it's like a fucking black hole spreading on the ground. You don't know why there's a black hole on the ground, and you don't know how to stop it, you don't know how to change it, and it can just keep spreading until it consumes everything that you are and everything you love and all that shit. And so that is really what you need to see. Everything that is illogical to people occurring, like let's say I fly, right? I start flying, and you guys think I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy here. I know for a fucking fact that it's possible just because of how fucking space works. So, and there are other animals that are doing it. That's also something that sanes me, okay? But let's say I start flying, right? And that's like an immediate hole. Like, it's like a black hole, and everyone's thinking. They're like, what the fuck? What is this shit, bro? And you would think they'd be like, oh my God, that's so cool. Ah. No, you didn't have a bunch of children there. In order for that to work, you would have to show kids first. You have to show kids me flying first, and then the adults, because the kids will make it make sense. The kids will have their reactions, do their little dances, do their little things to express what's going on, right? But adults saw it, and they saw that I was flying. Adults would be like, nigga, this house isn't this real. You know, we're not real anymore. And they'd start killing each other. That's what they would do. And it would be like a black hole spreading throughout their entire understanding. And so that's why I'm always kind of sliced every time I get to the point where I start proving things that don't make sense to others are actually real and possible. Like, for instance, I've had the real experience of like beaming a thought to somebody else's mind. I told them to blink twice if they understood what I was saying, and they did it. And we were talking about it too, and that was a real experience that we had. And so yeah, I mean, there's some things that you understand. Y'all are like basing what's possible off of what you know, and you don't know everything. And you're also basing what's possible off of whatever structure of belief you have, and that belief also has a dead end that only Nassim can explain. And at Nassim, everything's possible so long as you're not hurting anybody. And because doing illogical things to people fucking breaks their mind, it's technically immoral, right? And I've already said all this, I've already explained all this. However, because everyone is so okay with me fucking dead ending and dying here, it's opening up a new rule here that is, well, they didn't understand why that was happening, and they were still letting it occur. And so that kind of opens up space here for me to be able to do a little more. So, as a result, I'm gonna fucking LARP. I'm gonna look for some LARPing communities, and I'm gonna warn. I'm gonna say, hey, everybody, look, just hear me out. We're all doing this, right? It's all like we all are committed to it, like it's real life, right? And we all react to it as if it's actually happening, right? And the only reason that it isn't happening is because we have the external environment that claims that it still needs to make sense to them what's going on, right? What if I told you that within this little space of all of our agreement, it can become real so long as we decide to add a privacy layer to always explain it back to just being LARPing to the rest of society every time, huh? What if I told you that this could all become real and we could actually be experiencing it, huh? Or some shit like that. I mean, I gotta work on it. It's gonna take some more math, but still, yeah, so that's where we are. I can actually fly. You would just go crazy if you saw me doing it, so. But yeah, that's what I'm breaking here. That's the physiological chain. That is the reason that things that make sense still don't happen just because other people don't believe it. Because other people will fucking what is this? Like I've had someone try to do it to me recently where I saw like a bag that had a bunch of shit moving in it. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And me, whenever I come across like an animal that I don't understand, I start mimicking it. I start being like, all right, what the fuck is this? All right, like, cause what that is it's like, all right, look, I'm making sure you're real here. Do you have the intention to actually survive, or are you just trying to kill everything? And so that's what I do. I'm like, I'm sharing in your attention here. What are you doing here? And it just kind of sat me down. I don't know what that was. I've never come across anything like that before, but I'm excited to keep going. I'm excited to see more. I'm excited to learn. So yeah. Anyway, Oh, this is the point in which, you know what they used to do here? Whenever you would say, like, yeah, logically speaking, it's very possible to fly. Other animals have done it, and we've seen that there are animals that don't even follow the aerodynamic rules that are just flying. Like, what is that one bird that has the wingspan that like makes it impossible to lift its body, but supposedly the speed of its movement makes it possible, and all that shit? Like, that kind of just broke the, like, we can fly here, we just need to believe it's possible. And even if like a whole society of people went off into the fucking woods or went off into another area and just made it for years while practicing flying, jumping from higher heights every fucking year, and then trying to hold themselves in the air while they were doing it for, like, let's say a decade or a century or something, they would probably start flying. Like, it would make sense. The more you do it, the more that you figure out what's stopping it, and you figure out how to disprove what's stopping it. So yeah. But so yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, and that's probably why I got killed by the Christians, because they were all like, witchcraft, witchcraft, But it's just, I'm a cool guy. I do cool things. Whenever you guys don't have a hold of me, whenever you guys aren't fucking me over, I'm a cool guy. I make cool things happen, right? And I can even add a rule where you won't die. Hey, you won't die, because remember, anytime that you're actually gonna die, all that'll happen, and I'm talking about LARPing, anytime that you actually die, remember, all that's gonna happen is that you're gonna remember, oh shit, oh, real life, this isn't real anymore. Oh wow, this isn't real anymore. Okay, alright, cool, I died. Alright, fuck it. Damn, that sucks. Yeah, and see, I'm a very intelligent person, so, yeah, I'm gonna go LARPing. I wanna LARP. Hell yeah. Okay, so yeah, pretty much, I'm gonna pretty much do a lot of advancements on my epth, seeing as you guys all pretty much are like at the point of just letting me die and saying that I just had to handle it or something. So yeah, I got my epth at least. I'm gonna start there, and I'm gonna start making all the chambers I need to do whatever I want without any restriction. Seeing as I earned it, you know, by surviving this fucking hell of a life and making it real again by adding Nasum. So yeah. Isn't it funny that ad nauseum, which has E, it's just Nasum with E in it, also means like annoying or something? Isn't that fucking hilarious? Like, it's almost like they did that on purpose. It's almost like they did that on purpose, huh? Alright, so anyway, yeah, but that's the goal. The goal is to get through. The goal is to make everything possible. Oh, that's what I was supposed to say. Yeah, at this point, because people don't want to believe it, and they're afraid of it being true because they don't believe that shit, what they used to do to people like me is they used to be like, oh, so y'all can fly. Oh, so you can fly? And they would fucking like take you with the fucking, like, they held you by gunpoint and they'd walk you to the top of a building and they wouldn't let you explain. They'd be like, no, you have to understand, we're sharing reality, so you kind of have to believe that it's possible in order for me to even be able to explain it. And they'd be like, shut the fuck up, jump. And then they would just kill us. And we'd be like, fuck, oh damn, that sucks. And I'd be like, man, they didn't even hear the part that made it work. So yeah. Anyway, goodbye guys. I'm gonna go home and work on the Nasum.